tell them what to do. I think they're waiting for somebody to whip them up and get their adrenaline going and make fools out of them.
But, you know, some people want that, though.
I know they do.
And
they're called stupid sheeple.
Because I was, I work on aircraft, and that night I was working, and matter of fact, I was actually using the HF radio that he said was not working, because we do time checks all the time, and that's at 10.00, and I just wanted to listen to the Universal Coordinated Time to wait for the actual real midnight, which most of the industry uses, which was 7 o'clock Eastern time.
Yeah. How'd you like the way he was whipping up the Christians by calling Putin a demon? Putin is just a human being that happens to live in the Soviet Union and has risen to some position of prominence. We may not like his politics. Exactly. We may not like his philosophy, but he's just a man like everybody else. He is not a demon.
Well, he was just a person just to put on a pedestal so everybody can fear. Oh,
Cornelius Jones, he's a demon. He's a demon.
Heck, I could put some of my bosses on work and make them demons too. You know? I'm sure to be worse.
Yeah.
All right, Bill. I'll get off the air so somebody else can call.
Thanks for calling.
Thanks, bye.
520-333-4578 is the number. If you got any guts, call us up. Let us know what you think about it. If you disagree, call up and let us know what you think about it. Not too many people do that, though. They don't know how to participate in a real argument. People think that an argument is yelling at each other. An argument is two people taking opposing sides in a conversation. And why it's called an argument is because each one has to support their side with facts in a decent, polite, intelligent exchange of ideas. That's what an argument really is. Good evening. You're on the air.
Hello, Bill. I'm calling from Canada.
Hi.
I can barely hear you here every night. The VOA is wiping you out every night here.
Well...
But I can just barely hear what you're saying, but I listen to Jones every day, and I don't think he's a government agent, but I don't believe most of what he says.
Well, good for you. You shouldn't, because most of what he says is definitely not true.
He was trying to set us up for doomsday.
Yeah.
And, you know, one thing he always talks about every day is that there's Chinese and Russian troops all over the U.S. Have you seen any?
There are no Chinese and Russian troops in the U.S. except those who are on legitimate exchange training programs.
And then another thing, he says that Canadian and Mexican troops are getting ready to invade the U.S.
That's a lie. That's
Can
a
you
bull.
believe this? Canadian. We only have a total of about 50,000 troops in our whole military. Yeah. We can barely defend our own country.
Yeah, that's a bull. It's just a bold-faced lie. I'm calling him a liar when he says that right now. It's a lie. Canadian troops and Mexican troops are not gearing up to invade the United States of America.
Yeah, well, that's something he repeats that every day.
I know, but the Mexican troops have their hands full with the Zapatistas down in southern Mexico, and they sure don't want to tangle with the United States of America, I can guarantee you.
Well, certain.
They couldn't even beat the... Let me tell you something. Yeah. They'd have trouble with the Texas Rangers.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying that the Mexican army is a bad army. They just don't compare with our level of training and technology, and they've never fought major wars like we have. Their training is... They couldn't do it. They just could not do it. They're good, decent people down there in Mexico.
So what does he think they're going to do? Occupy the United States?
Who?
This is ridiculous.
It's a lie. It's just a bold-faced lie. And hold off on that. See, I don't know if he's a government agent or not, but if he's not a government agent, he was sure duped on December the 31st.
Well, I think he's been duped himself by a lot of this stuff.
Well, could be.
He actually believes it.
Wait till you hear later on, either tomorrow night or Thursday night, a general is going to come out and make an announcement that is going to fulfill all of this stuff that he's building people up to
about
believe.
The missiles being shot off.
Well, we're not going to talk about that yet. We're going to hold that till tomorrow night or Thursday night.
Okay.
And you'll see where this is leading. He builds people up, and then the government delivers the coup de grace. And then he whips up the frenzy, and you can hear the fear and the adrenaline in his voice, and you can tell that these people are panicked.
Right on.
And it causes panic in the population, and people start heading for the hills. They were scared to death.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'll keep listening.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
520-333-4578 is the number. You know, see, I bet you most of the people who were listening on December 31st don't even have the brains to be able to put all this together and understand that they were set up to be terrorized, to become hysterical, to head for the hills, to do something stupid. And I'm awful glad that that didn't happen. You see, they went overboard. They scared them so bad that they didn't riot. They were trying to dig holes. Good evening. You're on the air.
Oh, Mr. Cooper, this is George in Arkansas.
Hi, George.
I'm glad you've put this all out for everybody to analyze and listen to again. I myself missed it when it was initially on.
Well, you got to do that because people don't think anymore. And see, if I didn't lay this out and let them examine it, they would never even know it occurred, even though they were listening to it and got scared by it all.
Yes, sir. And before anyone realized what was really going on, they would be out in panic mode doing whatever.
Yeah.
And,
well, many of them were, but thank God they didn't riot.
He was also on Tex Mars' show the other night. I had listened to him and spewing this same stuff that he had the other night, and of course, promoting his video. Now
he claims that he's always said that Y2K would amount to nothing and nothing would happen. Well, you can see by what you listen to that's not true. He was promoting it, and I listened to his show this morning. He's still saying that that what he's doing is pulling all the normal news that normally occurs that nobody ever pays any attention to, and he's blaming every bit of it on Y2K. If a little town loses their power for a few hours, it's Y2K. If a computer goes down in a video rental store, it's Y2K.
It's going to be real amusing how they try and spread this out over the next few months to keep the keep everybody on the edge of their seat.
Oh yeah, and they still got all the Y2K commercials going. They're still pulling in the money, and there's still people buying into it.
And then like you said, 2000. They're they'll
yeah. Guess what he said today? And I called the Atomic Energy Commission to find out if it was true. He said that 12 atomic power plants had shut down in this country. He said that 2 had shut down in Japan. Well, I went to high school in Japan. I made some good friends. I know people in Japan. It's not true. They had a computer problem at 2 nuclear power plants in Japan, and the computer problem was with the computer that monitors certain things in the reactor. And a lot of it is monitoring of radiation. They did not shut down the plants, and within just a few hours, they had both of the computers fixed. No atomic power plants were shut down in Japan. I can't find anywhere in the United States where 12 atomic power plants shut down. I can find 3, period.
If 12 were down, I imagine we'd be in a sad state of affairs here.
I found 3, period. The one in Pennsylvania, one in Michigan, and one down south somewhere. I forget exactly where it's at. But they all shut down for normal, routine things that go wrong in power plants. You see, when you have machinery and you have technology and you have computers, things go wrong. And you have to sometimes shut down equipment to fix things. And it's not a big catastrophe. You notice how he kept saying in those clips that I was running that they didn't shut down for that power transformer. It had to be something really wrong happened in there. Well, that's a lie. They really did shut down because some insulation in the transformer failed. And they only shut down 1 of 2 reactors that they have because if the reactor is going, they couldn't go in there and work on this piece of equipment that generates the electricity because of the steam pressure. And they had to shut it down to bleed the system in order to work on it.
As you stated, he's a change agent. He's making it very apparent.
Well, I don't know if he's a change agent. He just might be a dupe. They just might be feeding him this information, and him being such a young man and not understanding how disinformation works, he just might be taking the ball and running with it. He might
mouthpiece.
Yeah, he just might be an unwitting agent, is what we call that in the intelligence community.
Well, I thank you for your time.
You're welcome. Thanks for calling.
Yes, sir.
520-333-4578 is the number. Amazing. I'm amazed. I am amazed, folks. 520-333-4578. I don't know why he's doing this. I don't know if he's just a dupe or if he really is a change agent. But I'll tell you this. Everything that happened on December the 31st was set up by the government, and everything between these radio stations and what the government was doing was coordinated. Good evening. You're on the air.